Absolute Bedlam. Absolute Bedlam. Absolute Bedlam. Talking about topics and stuff. Absolute Bedlam. Absolute Bedlam. Absolute Bedlam podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?
Dorset, England's gateway to the sea. Legends tell of how travellers and wayfarers would navigate vast oceans to meet the natural beauty of the Jurassic coastline. As the centuries have passed, only their song remains. Absolute Bedlam are proud to be sponsored by Shanty Spirit, the taste of the Jurassic Coast.
You know you are.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Absolute Bedlam podcast. It is the 19th of December and this is the final episode that I'm recording this year. I think this is potentially like the middle of season 14 because I don't know how seasons work apparently. So yeah, let's get to it. So we've got someone that I've been meaning to get on for quite a while, and I try to come to sort of every show within reason, sort of Southampton downwards. We've got Cherry from Defences. So how on earth are you,
Hey.
other than ill?
Other than ill, I am pretty good. Yeah, looking forward to Christmas.
Yeah.
How are you?
Are you all relatively prepared for the C word, or are you still flying?
Not at all. Not at all. I am
Yeah.
one of those people that leaves everything to the last minute, and this
Yeah.
year is no exception. Haven't done any shopping yet, and it's the 19th.
Yeah.
All the shopping will be done in the next couple of days, basically.
Yeah, so I get paid weekly, so I'm going to have to do a lot of my shopping on Saturday, which is the 23rd, which is like,
Oh,
if you
wow.
can't find it then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But
Good
luckily I got a very supportive girlfriend who's had today off. So she's gone to the town centre and found me some stuff whilst I'm at work. So,
Cool.
but yeah, we'll always make it. We just sometimes get a bit stressed along the way, don't we?
Yes.
But yeah,
Story of my life.
in answer to your previous question, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to breathing a little bit because this content creation bike that I'm on is not really stopping.
Right.
And sometimes I just need to, it's like when you drop an EP or you drop an album or you drop a single, you have that moment of like pause afterwards, but then you've got to sort of start the engine up again, haven't you, and drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good stress. So
You've been busy.
yeah,
Good
that's
busy.
it. Yeah, exactly.
No.
So Cherry, how was school life for you? Anything that you're willing to disclose?
To be honest, school life was a little bit boring for me, just a little bit. I was quite shy growing up, so yeah, that kind of stopped me from, I don't know, getting involved with too much. I was on the netball team for a bit and the hockey team for a bit, but other than that, didn't really do anything particularly socially. Whilst I was at school, I really loved science. I was always a big science nerd. I guess I still am because I'm still fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had like a close knit group of friends pretty much all throughout school, and um, yeah, did a few extra things like the sports teams, and then I was in a rock band, school rock band for a little bit.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was fairly normal.
Would you say you confided to a certain clique, or was it just whoever talks to you, you'll
The
talk back to them?
weirdo. No, it was
Weirdo.
the weirdo. 100%. Yeah, that was my clique always.
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yeah. Fair enough. Last thing on school, and then we'll get on to the actual interview, is can you remember the naughtiest thing either you or someone else did at school?
So yeah, I've thought about this, but at school, like actually in the school building, I can't really think of anything. But one thing that I did do at school, which I'm sure a lot of people have done, it's a classic, was the old me and my best friend both told our parents that we were staying at each other's
Mm,
houses, and
yep.
we weren't.
Yeah, yeah.
We were, yeah, we were going off to go camping in a park with some boys,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
but my mum knew because she'd done it herself when she
Yeah.
was young. She knew what we were up to straight away, so
Yeah.
we got busted. But yeah, that was probably the naughtiest thing I did during my school time.
Yeah.
It wasn't at school.
I'm waiting for that to come out of Casper's mouth, my son. And I want to see. It's different because he's a boy, but I want him to say it to my face with like a genuine sense of I'm selling this lie to you and you have no idea. I do have an idea. Fantastic. So I find December to be a sort of year, a month of the year of reflection. So you can kind of, if you want, you can set New Year's resolutions. You can, you know, breathe a bit, like I said earlier. So would you say the year 2023 in its entirety for either you as a personal human being or as the unit defenses, would you say overall it's been a net positive year or has it given you opportunities for next year?
Both 100%. I like the way you worded that as well. Yeah, because it has definitely been a net positive. It hasn't been an easy year, both for me personally and for the band. It's been
Yeah,
yeah, it's been there's been a lot going on and it's been a really busy one. But 100% net positive, and we are ending the year in one of the best positions we've ever been in, set up with hopefully a lot of coming opportunities next year and a lot of really cool news as well.
yeah,
All the product of the work that we've been doing this year. So
yeah.
yeah,
Fantastic.
100%.
That's good. It's good to hear that because I know how much people slog in bands nowadays.
Yeah.
For little reward sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah. So you played Takedown the start of this year. I
Yeah.
was in the crowd. I'm potentially I'm umming and ahhing about going as a press person next year. I need to email Kai Harris, but I don't want it to feel like I'm at work. So there's this weird like position of I could just go and enjoy it and I could pay for a ticket and I don't have to worry about, the venue getting packed out and
Yeah.
having 8-minute interviews with people, which, is just a bit crazy really. But are you planning to play there next year or has that kind of not been announced yet or is it something that you can't comment on at all?
I don't believe there are plans for us to play it next year. Obviously we would love to, but we haven't heard anything on it,
Yeah.
so kind of assuming not, but I'll probably still end up going myself just
Yeah.
to go, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember seeing the lineup and thinking, oh, there's some cool bands playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be going either way.
I just had a like core memory unlock. I saw you in the car park in the hotel, didn't I?
You saw you saw
Yeah.
you saw us where?
Car park hotel in Portsmouth.
Oh
was like,
yeah.
hey, and you were like,
Oh
what?
yeah. That was so
Yeah,
random.
it's weird to not see people in a venue. Like
Yeah.
people have to actually walk to the venue and drive to the location and then sort of go in from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was Takedown for you? I know that you had a couple of sound issues, but did you enjoy it? Yeah,
Yeah, no, other than the sound issues, it was fun. I think we had fun with it, and we were always going to have fun with it because it was so cool to be playing it, to be
yeah,
honest. Like it it was so cool to first of all see that it was coming back, and
yeah,
then yeah,
mm,
to have the opportunity to play it was really cool. It's always been one of those festivals that, every year I've seen the poster and thought, oh, it'd be so cool
yeah,
to play it one day, and so we actually got to do that, and so it was really fun, and we made sure to have fun with it. It was cool that there were quite a few people
mm,
there who knew us and were fans of us.
mm,
We weren't necessarily expecting that, so that was really
yeah,
cool. um, and we previewed a new song for the very first time, so it will always be a bit special just for that reason.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a memory for sure.
yeah. Got to take the rough with the smooth these days, haven't you? Am I right in thinking that was the first gig that your new bassist played?
It was, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
kind of felt a little bit bummed for him that,
yeah,
because of the sound issues that we had, that was his first, experience of playing with defenses. But
yeah.
no, we've been able to rectify since.
And he's still in the band now,
He's still in the band,
so
yeah.
it can't have been that bad.
Yeah.
That's it. So, just going back a little bit, Cherry, on the whole musical career up until the present day, is Defences the first band that you've been in other than the school band that you mentioned earlier?
No, actually, and I forget about this because I guess it was quite a brief period of time, but um when was it? I suppose it was when I was in college. I was in a band for a little bit. We wrote, I think, two songs, just had a couple of rehearsals, um, and we were kind of all either mates or like mates of mates, and all people that wanted to be in a band and hadn't really had the opportunity. And we were called, I think we were called Always and Never, which
Okay.
is
Yeah.
such
Okay.
a long name. Um, but yeah, I remembered randomly the other day the song that we made. Um, and it was very kind of basic, um, like metalcore, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, very at
Okay.
a very basic level.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only a thing for, I want to say, like 6 months max.
Yeah.
But that's the only band other than Defenses that I've been in. Defenses is the first proper band I've
Yeah.
ever been in.
You're in it for the long term as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
As you've got a bit of a croaky throat at the moment, and you're sponsored by Lemsip, is that right?
I am. Yeah, sponsored by Lancet.
This is just a complete coincidence then, because one of the questions that I've got written down next was what vocal warm-ups do you and your other singer do before singing?
So we both do versions of Melissa Cross's Zen of Screaming exercises. Like we have different, we've picked different ones each that we do, and we do them at different kind of scales, ranges. Um, and then I do a few random, basically pitch exercises that I've just found on YouTube, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, and Will has a couple of other ones that I'm not sure where he gets them from, but they're just more scales basically. So yeah, pretty standard kind of warm-ups. Try to do it for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that tends to be about half an hour before we're going to play a show, for
Yeah.
example, is when I'll
Yeah.
go warm up.
Was warming up something that you had to learn because your voice went once, or is it just something through discipline and actually wanting to be a singer long term that you
It's
thought,
something it's something I've kind of always been aware is a thing that you need to do. Because I have been singing in some capacity from a young age, whether that was, choir or whatever in school, or Stagecoach. I did that. Do you remember Stagecoach?
No, no idea.
Um, no? Oh,
No.
okay. It was
Yeah.
basically this yeah, like recreational weekly thing where you could go, and it was dance, acting, and singing. And then, after every quarter or whatever, you put on like a show. Um, so yeah, because I was always doing some kind of singing, I kind of knew that warming up was really important. It was something that you had to do. Doesn't mean I always did it, and
Yeah.
I was quite bad at actually disciplining myself with it before Defences. But
Mm,
when Defences started to become a band that was actually like playing shows and,
yeah.
yeah, doing things properly, I started to take it a bit more seriously.
Before you go on stage, other than doing vocal warm-ups, are there any pre-band rituals? Are there any things that you have to do? Do you get a little bit superstitious about things? What happens before
Um,
you at the stage?
I wouldn't say I get superstitious about anything, but I do get nervous always. Um, I'm better at handling it now, but yeah, always get the butterflies in the stomach, and um,
Mm,
yeah, just general, butterflies about it. But I don't think there's anything in particular that we do. We're all kind of either, fussing about merch or fussing
yeah.
about equipment, and
Yeah.
getting ready for going on. I will tend to go and like get ready, and then yeah, as I say, do the warm-ups and get that out of the way, and then generally just try and shake off that day or that week, or
Mm, mm,
whatever else outside of the venue essentially, and then go up there and kind of just let it all out is what I'm
yeah.
reminding myself of
Oh yeah.
before we go on, is that I'm going to get to go do that, and
Yeah.
it's just about being in the moment and being in the show, and having fun with it. So yeah, it's just reminding myself of that really.
No, I like that. That's good. Current three favorite Defenses songs that you personally like to play live.
Yes, good question. So the first, my favorite one at the moment is an unreleased song.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
can't really tell you anything
That's all right.
about it other than, yeah, it's unreleased, but it's we've previewed it a couple of times at some of the shows this year, and it's gone down really, really well every time. And it's just been a really fun song to play. Um, so yeah, that's definitely one. And then another is probably for me In the Black.
Mm,
Even though it's one of the more challenging ones vocally.
yeah.
Um, I just love everything about that song.
That's cool.
The instrumental, like the heavy bits hit really hard. The lyrics mean a lot to me, and
Yeah.
are very personal to me. Um, and it's just a cool song, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And I think it translates really well live too. And then the third one is probably one that we don't play all the time. We tend to play if we have longer sets, which is Scared. It's just really, really fun, and translates really well live. It's a bit of a party song where we really try and get people moving and dancing around. And like
Mm,
at the last show we played, it was the one where we brought out an inflatable bauble and chucked it
okay.
into the crowd. So yeah, it's a fun one.
Was that the recent show that you did with Chugaboom?
Yeah, yeah, the Chuckleroom show. It was a good one.
Who was the other band? Because I've just followed them and I've immediately forgotten their name.
Waterlines,
That's it.
yes. Yeah, so they have,
Yeah.
well, fairly recently joined the Down for Life family. And yeah, we've played with them twice now. We played with them at Alt Fest in Derby a couple of months ago. And then, yeah, at the Chugaboom show. They're a really cool band.
Yeah.
They're doing really cool things.
So just on Down for Life, is that a record label or is it an agency or is it a management thing?
Management company, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so Toby, who is also the vocalist for Our Hollow Home,
Yeah.
is our manager. We love him. Don't know where we'd be without him, to be honest.
Yeah. Is Mikey from City as Ours still in that or has he moved on?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
might have
sure
to
if he's
message
still
him.
doing stuff.
I don't think I've actually messaged Mikey since Halloween.
Oh, really?
It might seem a bit mental if I just ask that out of the blue. I might need to
Have
create some
have
small
you
talk.
listened to Shame? Have you heard the new City song?
No, not yet. No, it's
Oh,
on
it's
my
good.
to-do list. To be honest,
It's good.
Cherry, I listen to a lot of podcasts whilst I'm driving because I tend to drive a lot by myself. So
Yeah, okay.
I've got
Me too.
so much music that I need to catch up on, but I just find Spotify to be this like I can listen to literally any music from any period of my entire life, but I'd rather just listen to these six bands.
Oh my God, I am exactly the same.
Like
Well, for me,
completely,
it's like the same three
yeah,
playlists that
yeah,
I just listen to over and over and over. And I get annoyed at myself
yeah.
because there's like so much music that I should be listening to, and I'm just
All,
listening to the same stuff.
yeah, overwhelming sensory overload. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, in regards to new songs being created, currently your most recent release is In the Balance. Are there plans next year to change that?
There are.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
that's what we've been working hard on in the background this year is basically writing what's coming next. We're almost there. Um, and it's by far, I mean, everyone says this every
Yeah.
time. I know I've said this, but it's by far our favorite thing that we've ever done. It's a little bit different, and I think it's a bit more kind of modern and yeah, it's kind of it feels like we've kind of found what we're supposed to be doing. You can really hear the progression, I think, from
Mm.
album to album. Um, so yeah, very excited.
So just on In the Balance, who did the artwork for it? Because I do like a good scale.
So that artwork was done by Daniel Holub, Make North. Um, I think that was, oh no, yeah, he did the merch for it as well. I think he basically took care of all of the designs for that album for
Yeah,
us. And we yeah, because we'd used him previously and really loved what he does. So
yeah.
um,
I've got one of your brand shirts, but I was just thinking how cringe it would be to put it on whilst recording with you. But
which one is it?
got my sleep token. Um, the say whatever you're thinking kind of camo patch thing.
Wait,
Yeah, that
this
one.
one,
Yeah, that one. She's
the
been in
one
my
over
wardrobe.
the.
You in my
Oh,
wardrobe?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, awesome. I love those t-shirts. They were so fun to
Mm,
make. We made like a whole day of it.
yeah.
And yeah, we spent a good few hours bleach dyeing them all. It was really fun. But yeah, I because I liked all of the merch that we did so much, I have all of it.
Yeah.
And now it's genuinely like I have more Defenses merch clothing than I do regular clothing.
I love it.
So I'm always wearing it.
I love it. That always reminds me of Lemmy from Motorhead. And he said for I think it was a BBC introducing live set or something. He said, "I've made Ace of Spades the number one hit this month on the top 40 because I've bought 700,000 copies myself, and they're all in my attic."
Wow,
It's like the most Lemmy thing I've ever heard in my life.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Um, as defenses, as you've climbed up the ranks, I suppose, as you've climbed the ladder of life, do you prefer opening, being main support, or headlining shows nowadays?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, okay, generally speaking, I think I prefer main support because it's always fun to it's always fun to surprise people, and that's something that just by nature we tend to do a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Um, is surprise people that hadn't heard of us before, didn't know who we were. Um, and yeah, so it's a really good opportunity to and it's something I say at every show to grow the Defences family.
mm,
Um, and then we still or I still get to kind of enjoy just being someone at a show as well because I get to watch the headline band do their thing, and kind of be a part of the crowd for that. So yeah, definitely main support, I think, generally speaking. However, our headline shows over the last few years have been incredible. They've been so much fun. And that is because of how much the Defences family has grown over the last few years. It means that when we do put on our own shows, there are obviously now more people coming to them, more people who really love our music and really love us. And so it's just this big family vibe, and it's just like a big party. So they are always really fun as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to have two answers to that question, really, because otherwise, if you're just planning on opening forever and potentially you don't get the slot that you want, then you have to be adaptable nowadays in bands, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Remember when I was in bands, sometimes the headline band wouldn't show up. So my band would headline sort of unwillingly because we didn't potentially have the correct gear.
Yeah.
The amps wouldn't quite go to 11, as it were, and we had to like mic everything up within an inch of its life, and just little things like that you don't really account for, do you, when you're playing shows? So
yeah,
but yeah,
oh,
fantastic.
you're right. Yeah.
So we've got about 8 minutes left on this one, and then we'll jump over to the next one.
Okay.
So in 8 minutes, as Cherry, either personally or musically, what do you find allows you to keep yourself motivated to write music?
Honestly, it is just music itself. Like, music is such an important part of my life and has been for my entire life. That, yeah, my love for it is it's just undying and never ending. I listen to music every single day. Like, it's some kind of music every single day. A day without music is a miserable one. And yeah, I love listening to it, and I feel incredibly inspired by it, and it does inspire me to do it as well, and kind of prove to myself that I can be creative in that way, because in my opinion, it's one of the coolest ways to be creative and express yourself and build a community of people who also love music. So yeah, it's just that undying love for music itself.
You don't know what it would be like without it.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Life would be very strange without music.
Yeah,
Very serious, I think.
very serious. Yeah.
Very heavy.
Yeah, just way less joy,
Yeah.
and creativity in the world, which would be a
Yeah.
real shame.
I watched Don Broco at O2 Academy in Bournemouth on Saturday, and they said
No.
exactly the same thing. They said the only reason, that they survived the pandemic was because they knew that they would come back and music would sort of survive and allow people to go back outside, and there was a sense of like people were like sort of bashing their door down by 2 years of all this shit that we had.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that sense of like it's our blood and it's our nutrition to keep us fueled. So yeah, it's a good thing, isn't it? Music. It always gets me out of my mood and out of my head, and when I'm jogging, and it allows me to sort of push myself a bit further. So yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So we're going to go to another break, and then we'll join another meeting. We'll talk about Spotify a little bit more, and then we'll go into a little bit more music, and then it's just completely off the fucking rails, talking about bins, ghosts, the future, and who knows what else. It's going to be absolute bedlam.
Can't wait.
Yeah, there we go. Right, I'll speak to you in about 5 minutes, all right?
Okay, cool.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
man.
Do you need that extra burst of energy? Do you need motivation? Do you need that X factor? Well, Go Energy has you covered. Whatever gets your juices flowing. Whatever you need to let your hair down. Have a go at it all with Go Energy. Gluten-free, vegan-friendly, and no artificial additives. Goat Energy. Use code Bedlam10 at checkout.
And we are back. So we'll try to pretend that I'm not using a work phone's flashlight, so people can actually see me, and the fact that I actually have eyes. We work with what we've got, don't we, Cherry, in this creative endeavour that we've somehow lumbered ourselves with.
Yeah.
So, off the back of the Spotify question previously, what are you currently listening to on Spotify?
So I'll give you artists because the true answer is just electronic, instrumental, and lo-fi beats. But
Lo-fi.
the artist,
Yeah.
yeah, the artist's answer. It's been a lot of Paramore and Paris this year.
Okay.
Both released killer albums. They're both bands, and especially Haley and Lynn are both songwriters who I've always related to, basically with every release that they've done with their projects. And yeah, these latest ones were no exception. So I've been spinning This Is Why and Evergreen a lot this year. And then weirdly, Doja Cat has been a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine this year. I've never been into Doja Cat before, but I kind of fell in love with her as a person this year.
Okay.
And because of that, I've been interested to hear what she's been putting out. So I have been listening to Scarlett a fair bit and was very excited when it was coming out. She just seems like such a cool human. And then Nothing But Thieves as well. Also released a killer album this year. Went to go see them last month at Wembley. Was really, really fun, really good. Different style to what they used to do and what I would usually listen to, but they're another band where I'll basically love whatever they do. So yeah, hasn't been a very metal heavy year in terms of my listening, apart from unreleased Offences music.
Yeah, it's quite a common theme though, isn't it? A lot of people see sort of, this comes back to the whole Sophie Lancaster Bloodstock thing, doesn't it? Like, we wear black and we look scary and we only listen to death metal every minute of every day, and it's just not true. Like, I know so many metalheads that listen to electronic music and so many metalheads that listen to like rave music and stuff, and it's it's just a weird misconception that a lot of people still seem to have, even in nearly 2024 now in the UK at least. But yeah. I love it. Fantastic. As soon as you said Doja Cat, I just instantly thought of that really fucking annoying Nyan cat. That
Really?
that just rainbow poo and just internet meme galore to the point where I probably need to turn my Wi-Fi off and go to sleep. But yeah.
I remember that. What a crazy thing that was.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's still probably a 10-hour version on YouTube of that people want to. If you want to interrogate someone, that's a pretty good way of doing it, I think, to get the information out of people.
Yep.
But yeah, there we go. So, life as an independent band. What's your opinion on bands that have to do stuff like TikTok and Threads and who knows what else this day in order to keep up with current trends, to keep relevant, to keep people informed? Do you think sometimes there's too much where people are just constantly recording? Because my business partner, John, says, how can I miss someone if they don't leave me alone? What do you reckon?
That is a good quote. I like that. Being perfectly honest, I don't think it's a secret at this point that I don't like social media generally anymore. And it is it's widely because of that. There's just so much content all the time. And I think it kind of sucks that as a band now you have to do that and you have to be on those platforms, otherwise no one's gonna know who you are. No one's ever going to hear your stuff. That's the way that you get discovered by new fans these days, is by having that presence on these platforms. And that means doing the kind of things that these platforms expect, like your TikTok, trends and
Yeah,
whatever else have you. And yeah,
yeah,
you basically have to be a content creator slash influencer
yeah,
as well as a musician. Whereas I obviously would love to live in a world where it could just still just be about the music, and have forums for people to. I mean, there are still obviously forums for people to
yeah,
just discover new music, but
yeah,
yeah, so much of it does seem to be dependent now on having that social media presence.
yeah. Well, I've come off Threads because I just don't get it. I thought that it was gonna like explode one day and like it would blossom into something that's more than like basically a Poundland version of Twitter.
Yeah.
X. But it just isn't very good. And
I mean,
I
I gave
just
up on it so quickly. I mean, I was rubbish at Twitter
yeah,
or X or whatever it's called now anyway. And yeah, like I thought, okay, there's this new thing, we should jump on it, because if you jump on it early, then it's more likely that you can blossom with it.
yeah,
And yeah, it has just been quite dead. Um,
yeah. I've started using Twitter a bit more recently, or X, whatever it's fucking called this day of the week. Um, it's more for Pokemon Go, which is like one of my other hobbies of sort of
oh,
adding people around the world and getting their trainer codes and stuff. And but the reason I started using X is because I found that a lot of the people I record with for this would retweet the episode when it was live. So I
mm-hmm.
had people like Ashens from YouTube, Sean Smith from the Blackout, who's been on, Brendan from Wheatus. He'll retweet quite a lot of stuff that I post. So it's
Nice.
kind of like a sort of mechanism and a tool to help this. So
Mm-hmm.
like I can completely relate to what you're saying in terms of it's a sort of means to an end. And if you're not dancing on TikTok, then people might forget you exist. It's just
Yeah.
a weird world, isn't it? Where everything is just, you know, I think yesterday I work in IT. I work with computers quite a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
something took like on Chrome, it took like 3 minutes to load, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought to myself, this is actually mental. And then I thought, back in the day of dial-up, this was probably like the fastest it could possibly be,
Yeah.
and it's just this level
It
of
feels
like
so slow now.
hyper acceleration of like everything has to be at my door the second I press order it on Amazon, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to navigate it. I just kind of roll with it, keep my head above the water, and
This is
occasionally,
it. This is all you can do, I think. Um,
occasionally, yeah,
yeah.
occasionally I have to put my phone in a drawer because I'm just on it. If it's nearby, eating and being on my phone, if they are near me, I'm done completely.
Mhm.
My
Yeah, I'm,
self-control is something to be desired.
I'm quite bad for it
Yeah,
at the end of the day when you're supposed to be winding down for sleep. I'm
yeah,
just on my phone.
scrolling.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the answer is, but I just think it's a sort of observational commentary of our social lives at the moment.
yeah.
But there we go.
I mean,
So,
I would love to just live off the grid completely, but that would
yeah,
have to be a different life for me. I can't do that and follow this passion, So
yeah,
maybe one day when I'm old, I will just be completely off the grid. I won't have a phone. You'll have to come see me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cherries,
Or I'll
yeah,
have one of the really basic phones that
yeah,
literally just do phone calls.
yeah.
That'll be it.
Cherries growing loads of carrots, but we don't know when Defenses have released their new album. One or the other. You don't get both. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so silly questions. This isn't necessarily a silly one, but it does ramp up quite aggressively, so apologies in
Okay.
advance. Do you believe in the superstition world? Do you believe in anything that's like supernatural, any paranormal events that have happened to you, or, energy crystals, insert thing here, anything like that?
Well, I do constantly have a crystal around my neck. Um, I have three of these necklaces, and I'm always wearing one of them, and there's always some crystal in it. Um, I Well, thinking of like well, super paranormal is the word you use. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely believe that ghosts, or some form, of ghosts, are real. I haven't experienced anything myself, or if I have, I've done a really good job of blocking it out.
yeah,
But I've seen stuff that I believe um, to be real. Um, and I believe that energy is 100% a thing that we are able to manipulate to certain extents. I mean, we know that through science, and I think that it's possible in more ways than are just widely accepted basically at the moment. Um, and I believe in the energy that we have within ourselves.
yeah,
And I think if we use it in the right way, then we can basically create the lives that we want for ourselves.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, without going into too much detail, I do kind of I believe in that, and I believe in energy in a more than just a scientific way.
yeah. So like energy can't be destroyed. Say when someone passes away, the energy transfers from one body to another or into
Yeah,
a unborn baby. When they're born, they might take on things from previous lives and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It is a bit of a rabbit hole, that question. I've had some people say, I've seen all sorts of crazy stuff, and I've seen some crazy stuff myself. But the more I think about it, the more I think it was probably my imagination as a kid.
Mm.
But I'm well into paranormal stuff, Cherry. My YouTube feed is just full of it. I love Sam and Colby. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They're one of the
Well, I need
biggest
I
YouTubers.
need to get I need to get into them. So I
Yeah.
my feed is basically just Selena,
Oh yeah.
because I like her on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's mentioned them. I don't spend a lot
Yeah.
of time on YouTube, but she's mentioned them in a few of her videos, and I've thought, oh, I
Yeah.
need to check out her stuff because it sounds like they've seen some crazy stuff,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and stuff that's just like impossible not to believe. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely gonna check them out at some point.
I'll send you an email after this with one of their paranormal investigations. They went to a place in America called the Sally House,
Okay,
and there's a bit in it that I can't explain. And you can see
really?
how like terrified they were when it happened, that they were like shaking. And
Oh
they're either
wow.
the world's best actors and they're like what 25 years old, or it
Possible,
happened.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
jury's out.
Oh yeah, definitely
Yeah,
send me that.
I will. Yeah, fantastic. Right, so real question. Cherry, when you've got to take the bins out, right? Do you
Yeah.
know when the bins go out and do you know which bin that you've got to do? Or do you have to follow the neighbour's example?
So before I moved, I had to follow the neighbor's example, and I would always leave it till the last minute to make
Yeah.
sure I didn't do the wrong thing. But luckily now, where I live now, I live in a street where it's both bins every week, and
Okay.
on a Monday. So Sunday, and because I live with multiple people, so
Okay.
each week it's someone's turn to like do the cleaning, and that includes doing the bins. And so yeah, just on a Sunday, got to remember by the end of the day to put both bins out, and then that's it. Nice and easy.
That's a system right there.
Uh-huh.
Foolproof.
Yeah, it's
Love
pretty
it.
good.
There we go. Easy. Any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me at all? I'll be as honest as I can.
So I actually have a couple of questions for you, if that's okay.
Far away.
I think my first one is, what would you say is your favorite release from this year?
Take me back to Eden. Sleep Token.
Okay, nice. They
That
have done. incredibly well with this latest release. I mean, they were doing incredible
Yeah,
anyway, but yeah, this latest release seems to have just exploded.
yeah. I think there's still a mystique around them. The fact that they don't do interviews, the fact that they don't talk on stage, they just allow the stuff to flow. They've
Hmm.
recently played Wembley, which is like,
Yeah,
what?
I just saw
Um,
photos from that. It looked
yeah,
insane, but like, yeah, it's so incredible to see this metal band basically that have just blown up in like in a number of years and playing to incredibly huge crowds at Wembley now. It was cool to see that kind of artist on that stage.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I like
yeah,
the new masks as well. Bit creepy, bit Slipknot, but
yeah.
yeah,
I need to see them again, but I feel that the tickets are going to get like super expensive and super scarce now because of their notoriety.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
In terms of other bands, this year releases, I know Don Broke are about to record another album.
Nice.
Devin Townsend did an independent release called The Puzzle, which I still haven't actually listened to, but I
Cool.
loved his work I think it was 2022 or 2021. He did an album called Light Worker, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
I tend to listen to bands just as I'm about to record with them. So The Bottom Line, they did something recently. I think they've dropped a new single with a guy from Magnolia Park.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I think Raiders, Sean Smith's other band, other than the Blackout, are about
Oh,
to release some stuff.
well, okay, cool.
Still
Yeah,
need to
he's
check out While She Sleeps. I think they're just about to drop something. It all seems to be at the precipice of not quite being released out yet, but you
yeah,
occasionally get a drip feed of a single.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I think next year is going to be a big year for music generally.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
should be good.
Any other
Cool. And
questions?
then my other question for you is, what is your favorite Defenses song and why?
It's either Shatter
Uh-huh.
or Ocean Floor.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of hits me like a wall of sound. And I like the fact that you've got like backing tracks when you play live. And I don't know what it is. I think it's because I live near the sea. I always have this like sort of thing in my head where it sounds like you guys are like on the ocean in
Mm-hmm.
a boat, kind of near a lighthouse. You've got a sort
Oh,
of Battersea Tower-ness about you.
okay.
Don't know if
That's
that
so
makes any
cool.
sense.
That's so cool.
I recorded with Seething Akira a couple of weeks back, and they're from Portsmouth, and they were saying that their songs are unintentionally very nautical. So
Huh.
maybe it's just me just being so close to the sea. But yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
love what you guys do, and I love your live shows. And
thank
yeah,
you.
no worries. It's all good. Any others?
Oh, I did have a third, but I've completely blanked now.
That's all right. If it comes
Um,
back to you, just interrupt me. It's fine.
okay.
Working with Disturbia. So I did email you about this. I didn't necessarily write it down, but any chance of a discount code? Cherry at checkout? Because my girlfriend would love you on a new level if that was a
Hopefully
10%
next
off.
year. Hopefully
Yeah,
next year we'll be
let's
giving out cherry promo codes for
let's make it
Disturbia.
happen.
Yeah, definitely want that to happen. I
Yeah,
am obsessed with that brand. I can't tell you. That's the other than Defenses merch,
yeah,
that's what the most of is
yeah,
Disturbia stuff because it's just so cool. And now because I buy so much of it, I'm getting shown more content from them.
yeah,
And like anytime they come out with any new range now, I'm just like, oh, I need to set aside some money for this month.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love them. They're
Do
so
you
cool.
do you have their email address? Are we actually gonna be able to make this happen, or is it a case of them just giving you a shout
Well,
out for wearing a garment?
I think Toby actually found a or Kyle found an email address and I need to email them and I haven't, but we're now more in a position where we've got stuff lined up that we can talk about to get them a bit more interested in maybe doing something with us. So we'll see.
Fantastic. Yeah. I feel that Killstar are just too big, and Disturbia kind of go underneath slightly, but I'm sure Disturbia
Yeah.
will be as big one day. But
Oh,
yeah,
100%. Killstar is the other brand that I love. I think these are Killstar. Yeah, slippers.
yeah.
They're like a little demon
Oh
cat
yeah.
thing. These are my
Awesome.
slippers that I wear around the house.
Oh yeah.
Love them.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, alt fashion seems to sort of still be very much relevant. I think at a
Oh
point,
yeah, I think
when I
it's
left
becoming.
school, it was like sort of you'd see occasionally someone with a Crate of the Filth shirt, Blue
Mhm.
Banana, I think that was the name of the shop that everyone used to go to. But yeah, it seems to be all online now, doesn't it? Rather than going to a
Yeah,
Disturbia shop. It's
yeah. I think in America they still have things like Hot Topic
yeah,
shops. But
yeah,
yeah, over here, I don't know that there's. To be fair, where I used to live, there were a few local shops that sold more alternative clothing. But yeah, it's blown up online, and it's definitely become more of a just a thing that people walk around in really cute dresses with harnesses on and
yeah,
you know um
yeah.
creepy like metal t-shirts and yeah, it's cool.
Lots of like phrases like "I'd rather be in bed" or "leave me alone" or "not a people person." You know,
Yeah,
yeah, I love it.
yeah, I love it all. Love it all.
Yeah, for all the introverts out there.
Mhm.
Any bands, any gear, any equipment, anyone that you want to give a shout out to whilst we're recording?
I would like to shout out, first of all, to As Everything Unfolds, especially Adam from As Everything Unfolds. He's been doing our sound for us this year, a lot of the shows that we've played, and it's literally transformed our live show. And yeah, he's amazing and such a cool guy. And the rest of the guys as well are all lovely. Charlie is a wonderful human. It's always so fun to hang out with. So yeah, and it's been really cool to just see them continue to smash it this year. I'm really proud of those guys. So big shout out to As Everything Unfolds. Um, Big shout out to Kid Bookie, who's another one who's absolutely smashing it at the moment. And is just being unequivocally himself, and authentic, and bringing a bit more attention to black artists in this kind of scene, which is something I hope to continue to do myself next year. um, yeah, big shout out to him. And probably lastly to Toby, our manager, who, yeah, is the vocalist of Our Hollow Our Home, who have, come back in a big way. And he did that all himself. And, they're just going to continue to smash it. And it's really cool to see. And he is an incredible manager that, yeah, I don't know what we would do without him.
Hmm.
So big love to Toby.
He seems quite straight down the middle, Toby.
Fully. And I love
Yeah,
that. That's my favorite kind of person to deal with, They're
yeah,
just gonna say it like it is, and they're gonna be passionate, and they're gonna
mm,
have your back. But then, they're not
mm,
gonna sugarcoat things. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Um, Plans for the future. What does 2024 look like? You can do like 3 month intervals if you want, either for yourself as a person or for the band, or any goals that you're going to set at the end of the year or anything like that, any personal achievements that you want to
Yeah.
strive towards.
I can probably talk about some personal ones more than I can talk about band ones because yeah, I think there's big things coming.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good.
Um, but yeah, I can't really talk about anything just yet. But in terms of personal, one thing I will say about this year is that it's been tough for me personally because of how much I've had on, basically.
Yeah,
We obviously been working really, really hard on new music and kind of the next era of our band and what that's going to be. Um, And then alongside that, I've had a pretty demanding, overwhelming job as a result of a promotion that I got at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's been a really full-on year, and there hasn't, I don't know, there've been a lot of holidays, but I don't really feel like there've been many proper breaks,
Right.
and
Okay.
I'm not really expecting to have too many breaks next year, but I definitely want to take care of myself a bit better than I feel like I've been able to this year.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest like resolution that I'll have for myself is to get back to taking care of myself because I was doing that, a few years ago, and it's kind of dropped off a little bit
Yeah.
over the last year. And yeah, just continue to really try and focus on now and focus on the present moment, and um, just continue to be grateful for everything that I have.
So I've just enrolled in a CBT program, and
Okay.
it is exactly what you've just described of living in the present moment, stop having such a hedonistic lifestyle. And
Mm.
like I sent you the Zoom meetings to this, like with 2 days' notice. I'm usually sending stuff 6 weeks out, which is actually fucking mental because people are going to receive emails between me sending. So it just creates this like noise. And it's
Yeah,
all about looking after yourself because you're not much use to anyone if you're completely fucked.
yeah, this is
Um,
the thing.
and it's about sort of combating your thoughts, and having insecurities is fine, but if you let them run your life for you, then you're kind of living in autopilot and survival mode.
Yeah,
So I'm really trying to grasp that because I haven't had an anxiety attack in quite a while now, but they're not fun.
no.
And I'm sick of walking into rooms with like so many people because I do think I'm quite extroverted. I do think I'm quite a social butterfly, but when there's just so much going on, I just like my fight or flight kicks in,
Hmm,
and
hmm.
I'm like, I need to do something about this because next year I'm going to be 35, and enough's enough. I want to be able to control my emotions. So
Yeah,
yeah, fight the good fight. It's really easy to say stuff like that. It's so much harder to live in it. And
it really is. Yeah, especially when you know
yeah,
what you need to do, right? But it's not just about knowing what you need to do. It's having the being in the right, mindset for it, or having
yeah,
the energy for it, physical or mental.
yeah,
And sometimes you just don't. But
mm,
it's yeah, like you say, every day is just fighting that good fight.
yeah, absolutely. But I'm always a message away if you need anything. So yeah,
Thank you
I
for
do
that,
mean that
Connor.
as well because there's a lot of people that say shit like that online, and it kind of dissipates as soon as you've come off the Zoom call. I do try to be there for as many people as possible because doing this enables me to talk to so many different people from so many different sort of walks of life, as it were.
Mhm.
And I like to support people that I record with because, you know, what's the point otherwise if it's not all coming together and benefiting each other, as it were, then there's no point really. I could get Tom Cruise on here, but he probably won't retweet. It's fucking pointless. But yeah. Last question. It's one I always finish on. It will change as of season 15. I've had a bit of a thought in the middle of the night last night, and I've written it down because I'm a psychopath. But we will keep that under wraps for now. How do you want to be remembered?
Ooh, I would like to be remembered as someone with a lot of passion and someone with a lot of empathy, someone who was brave enough to be honest and inspired people to do the same. Um, and yeah, I think that's it really.
Perfect. Yeah, it's all right to be an outsider. It's all right to be a weirdo, as you mentioned at the start, but
Mm.
fucking own it.
Exactly.
Don't be a
Exactly.
weirdo 10% of the time. Get in there and be weird with other people and
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's something that I'm still learning myself, I am an overtly, shy, introverted person who has always struggled with self-confidence and, being comfortable just being who I am. But I'm, realizing as I grow older just how important it is to just be yourself, and that we are our most beautiful when we are just ourselves.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, music will always be the biggest passion in my life, and the way that I'm gonna choose to try and get that message out there, and help people who have struggled the same way that I have with just being who they are.
You are the best cherry Dewsbury we can have. So
Thank you so much.
be yourself because everyone else is taken.
Exactly. That
When
is
you are,
literally. Oh no, I was gonna say that is literally on my coaster, but it's "Be yourself, everyone else is an idiot." It was a present from a friend.
so what a perfect way to end. But yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. Awesome. Did you remember that last question, or are we just gonna leave it?
I did not remember it,
That's
no.
fine.
So yeah,
No
we'll
worries.
leave it. We'll leave it
All
there.
good. Got about 5 minutes left, so I'm just gonna quickly promo the hell out of myself. So December's been tough for me because I've realised I don't like Christmas, and that's hard for me to say because Casper, my 10-year-old son, quite likes
Mhm.
Christmas.
Mhm.
Um, my energy for it has just been so dire in the last couple of weeks. But looking at this podcast, looking back on the whole year, I've recently just put up a YouTube video of reflecting because it's important to journal and reflect. Um, this has gone fucking nuts. So thank you all for listening and watching and subscribing. And hopefully 2024 is going to be more of the same. But I am planning to buy some microphones to go out in the wild, to go to places like Takedown, to go to places like Kendall Calling, Bloodstock. We'll see, because like I've just mentioned, I have a kid, so I can't just fuck off to loads of festivals. But yeah, the future looks quite bright. And I realised when I went to Portsmouth to interview Brendan from Wheatus that I've actually got what it takes to do this out in the wild rather than just sitting on Zoom. So thank you so much for being reciprocative and putting up with this absolute waffle. It's been a hell of a year, and next year I'm planning to slow down a bit, but I'm still trying to keep that quality up rather than just recording every single week until I die. So thank you all so much for watching, and if you can, tell a friend. It's probably the most powerful thing you guys can do. And because it's Christmas, I think sometimes I don't do this enough. I have actually got a PayPal below, and I do genuinely put in a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes for this. So if anyone is tempted to support me for the work that I do, then check it out below. But yeah, that's enough of my self promo. Check out Defenses. When I do that, I've realized I actually need to do that because it mirrors. So check out Defenses, check out Cherry. Um, on Instagram, Facebook, where can we find you?
TikTok,
TikTok.
Threads, YouTube,
Yep.
and then obviously your streaming services. We're on
Yep.
them all.
Yep.
We're basically everywhere. Everywhere you can be, we're there. Our presence might not be amazing right now, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
better next year. But we're there, so you can find us.
And we're manifesting Cherry on the front page of Disturbia.
Yes.
Let's do it. Sky's the
Yes,
limit.
100%.
That's it. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you. And thanks for letting me
Lovely.
ramble at the end, talking about myself.
Of course. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me, and
No
well
worries.
done for everything that you've managed to do this year.
Thank you.
We're happy
And
for you.
hopefully see you at a gig soon.
Yes, for
All right.
sure.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
Can we
Hey guys, it's John here from Absolute Bedlam. We just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to our brand new Patreon. If you head over to Patreon now, you can get access to behind the scenes footage, ad-free content and episodes. You can even send your own requests in terms of the content you would like to see us create. All of this is available to you and more. We've got free options available to you as a patron with us. If you just want to support what we do and help build the Absolute Bedlam experience, a small fee of £1 a month, you can do just that. If you want to get access to that ad-free content, those ad-free episodes, for £5 a month, you can join the Hive. And if you want all of that and more behind the scenes footage, commission works with us, live Q&A sessions, for £10 a month, all of the madness, all of the chaos of Absolute Bedlam will be yours. So head over to Patreon now, become a patron, and join the Hive.
Absolute Bedlam Podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?